Here we'll look at the arrhenius theory. In 1887, a Swedish chemist, Svante August Arrhenius, proposed that an acid is any substance that releases hydrogen or H+ ions in water. An example is the gas hydrogen chloride, HCl. Looking at the Lewis structure of hydrogen chloride, we see that there is a covalent bond between the hydrogen and chlorine atoms. They are sharing a pair of electrons. However, the bond between hydrogen and chlorine is quite polar, and although it keeps the atoms together in the gas phase, when HCl is added to water, this bond is too weak to keep the H and the Cl together. When HCl is added to water, the molecule breaks up. The chlorine atom, being more electronegative than the hydrogen atom, takes both of the shared electrons with it. Because the hydrogen atom has lost its electron, it acquires a positive charge. And because the chlorine has gained one electron, it acquires a negative charge. It is now called a chloride ion, or Cl-. This whole process can be summarized by the equation HCl gas gives H+ aqueous plus Cl- aqueous. Aqueous means that the ions are surrounded by water molecules. So Arrhenius pictured an aqueous solution of HCl as a collection of H+ and Cl- ions floating around freely in the water. The water molecules are not shown here in order to keep the diagram simple. Water is given a blue color in this diagram. Because this is a water solution, the subscripts AQ for aqueous are used for the hydrogen and chloride ions in the equation. According to the Arrhenius theory, a base is any substance that releases hydroxide or OH- ions in water. An example is solid sodium hydroxide. Because NaOH is an ionic compound, solid NaOH is composed of a crystal lattice of sodium and hydroxide ions. Here we show a 2D representation of a few of these ions. When a piece of solid sodium hydroxide is placed in water, the polar water molecules attract the ions and pull them away from the crystal. This process is called dissociation. The dissociation of NaOH is shown by this equation. NaOH solid gives Na+ aqueous plus OH- aqueous. So according to Arrhenius' theory, an aqueous solution of the base sodium hydroxide could be viewed as free and mobile Na+ and OH- ions surrounded by water molecules. The other type of ionic compound Arrhenius defines is a salt. A salt is an ionic compound that releases a cation other than H+ and an anion other than OH- in water. An example is the common salt sodium chloride, NaCl.